Hello and welcome to a cover story conversation. I have with me Rasheed Kidwai and Neerja Chowdhury, two very distinguished journalists, authors, and people who know what is happening in the field. And today we are going to be taking a look at the state polls. The five state polls are going to have already begun. In fact, some voting is going to take place this weekend. Two or three others will take place later. But at the end of the day, what do the people want? What are the issues? And it's also very interesting because I have with me the CVoter State Election Tracker. And the vote really seems to be in favor of sitting CMs in most of the states. That is something we're going to be looking at this trend. What are the issues and who are the people involved? So first of all, Nija, I'll begin with you. Just take a look at, the state polls that are happening and what is at stake. Let's first talk about the state of Kerala and Assam because, that's the states that are going to be good polls very soon for also. Assam, how do you see? Is it very chief ministerial central, the state of Assam?
Think, Priya, yes, the answer to that is yes. It is about Hemanta Biswa Sarma, who once left the Congress party to come over to the BJP side. He's one of those people who's made a real success of that transition. Not everybody is able to do it, only up to a point, because he has understood the ecosystem of the BJP very well. He has been patronized by the leadership in Delhi. He's moved in step with them. And he has translated the vision of the BJP into programs, very effective programs, and emerged as somebody, one of the newspaper articles said today very aptly, benevolent patriarch. Those were not the words, but that was the sentiment.
Yeah, he's called Mama Ji in the state.
Mamaji in the state with the, but benevolent, giving out doles, cash transfers, 9,000 rupees to women. Half the households now in Assam get that money, 1,250 rupees additionally, and so on. And yet he is also has an image of a tough leader, no nonsense leader. Of course, the Congress party has made huge charges, very serious charges against him and his wife, calling him the most corrupt and the most communal CM in the country. But that apart, the CM image, of a leader, all the CMs in the four states that are going to the polls, Priya, are tall leaders in their own right. And that's a very interesting phenomenon to me. Also in Kerala, Pinarayi Vijayan, he's already won twice. The first Kerala CM to win a second term consecutively. And now he's making a bid for the third term. He's managed, and there's no communist, as far as I remember, there's no communist government anywhere in South Asia. And here is a communist government holding its own in Kerala and making a bid for the third term because he has managed to mainstream the CPM, which is something the CPM has not been able to do nationally.
And he's the last government in India also, the last communist government in India.
Maybe that's what, if he loses, that could be the fate of the CPM, the party. We can't say, but certainly he's been flexible. And I remember during the COVID, the handling of the COVID was in Kerala was something that everybody looked towards to find out what they were doing right. So I think this election is also about chief ministers, leaders in their own right, which are not there. Hemanta Biswa Sarma in the BJP, given autonomy of functioning to be able to reach this height, which is not given to the chief ministers by the BJP of the Hindi heartland state for whatever reason. I think that's something that maybe the party can look at so that leaders that they select and give a free hand to, can rise to their true heights. But anyway, this is a very interesting thing that strikes you about these four state elections.
No, well said. In fact, the point you made about BJP giving a free hand, I think, requires a discussion by itself. But before I ask Rashid, I have with me the CVoter State Tracker, and let me just read out Assam and Kerala. In terms of Assam, the rating the performance of the chief minister, 41.1% say good, and 28.5% rate Hemanta as poor, while 25% say he's average. Kerala for Pinarayi Vijayan, 31.2% say he's good and 49.3% rate him as poor, while average is 18.4%. That can swing either way, but perhaps in the favor of the Chief Minister. In terms of personalities, whom would you want the Chief Minister to see the Chief Minister again? Hemanta wins by 44%, while Gogai is 34.2%, and Sonowal is 10%. In Kerala, of course, the choices are actually quite interesting because we have some very interesting names from the Congress camp also. The sitting chief minister is not leading. He has 24%, while VD Satishan, the Congress leader, is 26.8%. Shashi Tharoor is 11.9%, and Rajiv Chandrasekhar is 9.2%. Very interesting, Rasheed. They haven't taken KC Venugopal's ratings. I wonder why. I wish Yashwant Deshmukh was here. He was to join us. He's been delayed. We could have asked him why he's left poor KCV out. But it's, Rashid, taking off also from what Neerja said, what does it say about the state of the two parties? BJP giving CMs a free hand. You see what is happening in Assam. Congress, by letting state factional leaders bringing up a joint front, you see what is happening in Kerala. So it's interesting to see how the center is playing a role also.
Yeah, so I think Priya, both states, Kerala and Assam, they are very interesting, both for the outcome, the likely outcome, and the kind of internal politics that is playing out. Let's take the Assam situation first. Here is the chief minister who's very hands-on. I mean, I find him a kind of fascinating subject, in spite of all this political incorrectness and the kind of minority bashing, etc. Mr. Hemanta Biswa Sharma is a very hands-on person. Now, I'm very intrigued that who gave this kind of information regarding his wife to our friend Pawan Khela. Whether the accuracy of it and all is, I understand that it was given by a BJP insider. Now, who is a BJP insider who's sort of giving ahead an audacity, I would say, to pass on some kind of information, half baked, full or fully verified or otherwise, to a Congress leader and who made a big capital of it. Remember, Priya, this is something that Himanta excels in doing. Hemanta leveled some very serious and, of course, unsubstantiated, unverified allegations against the wife of Gaurav Gogai. 2 months have passed. If she was going by the allegation, if his wife was hand in glove with Pakistanis or some Pakistani NGO or ISI or whatever nonsense that he was talking about, what was Government of India doing? What was MHA doing? Because this is not something between two individuals. So that needed to be probed. So from February to we have in April, 8th of February, and now we have 7th of April, and nothing has happened. So Pawan Khera, what he did was he also leveled some allegations that have actually rattled, Hemanta Biswa Sharma. So that is a kind of politics. Now you look at Hemanta Biswa Sharma.
In fact, Assam police is at Pawan Khera's door today.
No, that's also, you see that the police business is very tricky. And in Delhi also, the police is actually, the Delhi police is directly comes under MHA. So why is he bothering Assam police? So there is some kind of politics is there that needs to be explained, and there can be always, or these such measures always have a tendency to boomerang, not only in Assam but elsewhere where elections are taking place. This kind of high-handedness, etc. See, Himanta, many of his sort of, I would say, I don't like to use that word, but many of his henchmen or people around him are actually Muslims. And they do all this utapatak. See, many of the people on the real political sense, that since I follow Assam a bit, many of them, basically the Congress disgruntled leaders or rebels, were offered that, you don't come to BJP, you go to AGP. You look at the AGP list. AGP list has 50%, almost 50% of Muslim candidates. Very intriguing. Neerja ji knows. I mean, she has followed this entire Assam political movement, what AGP stood for, and AGP coming up with so many Muslim, faces. So, Mr. Hemanta Biswa Sharma, like a very deft chess player, has been moved, pieces in all directions, from his own side also and from the opposition side also. People opposed to him. So therefore, this becomes very interesting. It's a take or leave, very high risk thing. I think Mr. Hemanta Biswa Sharma is very, is in very good condition. But if things turn against him, then the defeat will be his, not so much of BJP's.
Fair enough. And before we go on to the other states, I want both of you, Neerja, first on the role of Gaurav Gogoi. How do you see him emerging? He's been taking, in fact, there's a very interesting Twitter exchange between Hemanta's wife Rinaki and Gaurav Gogoi also trading charges. But he's been there on ground leading the campaign. Priyanka Gandhi being there, why is she not in Kerala? Is that a plus point or a minus point? She might have some of those politics also to tell us about. So, how do you see how the way Congress is conducting the campaign in both the states?
I think, when Gaurav Gogoi first hit the road, very seriously, and it's been almost a year or so, and he's been there concentrating his fire there. One felt this was a state that the Congress party could rest from the BJP because there is anti-incumbency. There's no doubt about that. Remember, it's not only 1 year of Hemanta Biswa Sarma. There was Sarbanan Sonowal's one term, not 1 year, one term. So it's been 10 years that the BJP has now been in power. Hemanta Biswa Sarma was not in power for the first term, though he was in charge of the northeastern states. And that's where he showed his mettle. He got a grip over the situation, not just in Assam, but also in the northeastern states. But coming to Gaurav Gogoi, and people reacted to him enthusiastically. But where the Congress loses out, and of course, Priyanka Gandhi is putting her best foot forward there. Very mystifying why they're not using her in Kerala, which is her natural habitat, where she's an MP from Wayanad and should have been really used. But they may have calculated that Kerala we're winning anyway. And Assam is where you need to put your best foot forward and give the last minute push. So that could be a calculation. But where the Congress loses out, not just in Assam, but in state after state of India, is the organization. They don't have the organization needed to convert goodwill into votes. And I think also this Hindu-Muslim polarization and the narrative, the BJP has successfully been able to paint the Congress as a minority party, Muslim party. Whereas it is polarized things, there are after the delimitation in Assam, there are, I think, 22 seats which are totally dominated by the minorities. Those seats the Congress is going to win, hands down. And that's what people say. That's what the feedback is. But in the remaining 180 seats, the BJP could just take away because of this polarization, Hindu-Muslim polarization that's taken place. Now, Mamata is much better at turning this Hindutva. She has not allowed the chart to stick that she is a minority CM. She has women as a constituency. She has Muslims as a constituency. Those are two powerful blocks. And even amongst other groups, rural poor, a section of the Bhadralok. So, and she turns it very cleverly into, Bengali identity, Bengali pride, the subnationalism of Bengal, the culture of Bengal, making today the fish as a symbol of identity, that tomorrow you're not going to, BJP comes, you're not going to be able to eat fish. So this is something that the Congress has not been able to do, not be painted in a corner as a pro-minority, and therefore, that therefore is equal to anti-Hindu, which is not the case. But I think it's the narrative, this narrative, how to get the better of it, the BJP's narrative, and how to really build up their organization, without which they're not going to be able to win the war.
Rasheed, your take on the Congress, and do you think, as Neerja saying about Priyanka Gandhi, is it as simple as that, or are there other inner party politics at play also?
Yeah, so very quickly, yes, inner party dynamics are very much on the display. You look at the composition of team Assam for the Congress. There is Priyanka Gandhi, who's unprecedented chairperson of the screening committee. 126 candidates have, technically speaking, of course, there are allies, but they have been selected, shortlisted, and approved by Priyanka Gandhi. So she would get either the failure or success of it. It will be credited to her. Then you have very close this thing DK Shivkumar as a senior party observer, who's the Deputy Chief Minister of Karnataka, plus the former Chhattisgarh Chief Minister Bhupesh Baghel. So it's Team Priyanka which is there. So all the kind of discredit or credit will be at her doorstep. Kerala story is different. That is KC Venugopal. You said that Yashwant has not mentioned him, that how much percentage. Let's assume that he's a to rank outsider, just 2%, 3%. Then even then Rahul has the capacity to install him as chief minister. So I think they're going to be on the 4th of May, on 5th of May. There will be this that success Rahul Gandhi, KC Venugopal, and you have failure, Tarun Gogoi, Gaurav Gogoi and Priyanka Gandhi. So this is a kind of internal dynamics while brother and sister may be having a best of relationship, but there is an attempt. So Priya, it's very interesting that political parties do attempt all these things. Like I explained to you, kind of Congress dynamics vis-a-vis Assam and Kerala. Similarly, you look at the dynamics in Kerala. In Kerala or Kerala, you see, you have a left CPM chief minister, LDF, etc. The government of the day and BJP, I'm talking about central Narendra Modi and BJP, they want actually the CPM to win. You will find it very baffling and intriguing. And from our private conversations that we gather, you see the CPM in Kerala is projected as a Hindu party. Pinari Vijan is a Hindu leader. It may find very, as I said, paradoxical, but that is as vis-a-vis Congress, as Neerja ji was saying, as a Muslim Christian party in Kerala. So an attempt is there. Whether they succeed or not, but BJP is working very hard. So my enemy's enemy is my friend. And that is a kind of dictum that is being used. So on the 4th of May, again, if script reads, the Congress nil, the LDF win, one, and Mamata win, and all of them they win, and Congress ends up with 0. See, Mr. Modi will say that this is what 100 century. Rahul Gandhi scored a century, 100 defeats. Now somebody can turn around, and I can argue, and Neerja ji will vouch. What was the scorecard? What was the scorecard of BJP when it was formed in 1980? Which was the first state they won. 1990, 10 years. Remember the kind of cycle of elections that have taken place. I'm not talking about, what happened between 51 to, 1990. And even with the Bharatiya Janata Sangh formed few governments in Madhya Pradesh and Rajasthan, etc., they were all that Sayukt Morcha. They were allies. So the Bharatiya Janata Sangh, to my mind, never won a state on its own. So that is it. So how many centuries did LK Advani and Vajpayee ji and all of them, the other BJP Janata Sangh stalwarts had scored? But that's not part of our media menu. Media menu would be, of course, Rahul Gandhi and scoring a century. So the BJP is very good at building this narrative. I think they have thought it through and they're working as per script. Whether they succeed or not, we'll get to know on May 4th.
It is interesting if they manage to paint the left Communist Party as a pro-Hindu party. That itself is an achievement of the BJP's narrative building skills. I'm going to take a break and come back and we'll take a look at what is happening in Tamil Nadu and West Bengal, two equally crucial states. But stay with us. Hello and welcome back to Cover Story. We're taking a look at the state polls and we have with us the CVoter State Tracker. In fact, Yashwant Deshmukh was supposed to join us, but he's been detained. So we do have his figures with us. And Neerja, I'll just read out the figures for Tamil Nadu first and then West Bengal, and then we can, discuss that. In terms of Tamil Nadu, the number of people who vote the current Chief Minister, MK Stalin, as good is 39.4%. Average say 19.8%, and 36% say poor. So 36 is poor and 39.4 is good. But if you ask them that who would be your favorite chief minister, the vote share of the DMK is 41%. ADMK is 38% and TVK is 14%. Now the TVK vote share is very interesting because TVK can play a spoiler and it will probably eat into the anti-incumbency vote. So, who will TVK help is the big question. If TVK gains 5%, then DMK goes down to 40 from 41, ADMK goes to 34 from 38 and TVK gets 19%. It gains 5%. But if TVK loses 10% vote, then DMK and ADMK get the same percentage, 45%, while TVK gets 4%. So there could be a chance of ADMK and TVK coming together and it's going to harm DMK in the end. In terms of chief ministerial, Stalin is 40.6%, while EPS is close behind with 38%, while TVK is 13%. So, Neerja, a lot depends, of course, on the role of TVK, but Stalin still holding on in that number of CMs who are getting pro-incumbency. Stalin is one of them.
Yeah, absolutely. That's also very interesting because when he took over from his father, M. Karunanidhi, he was not considered very charismatic like Karunanidhi or a good orator, but he has grown in that role. And I'm told from people who are his opponents in Tamil Nadu that they talk about his, for instance, his graciousness. That's the word used. Reaching out to political opponents, going and seeing them in hospital, walking across the road and saying hello, those kind of things which are now niceties that are going out of politics and obviously are being appreciated. So he has grown into that role, MK Stalin. And despite all the charges of corruption, and people talk about humongous corruption in Tamil Nadu, and of course they talk about dynasty rule and so on. But as you say, everything hinges on how many votes Vijay gets. If he gets up to a point, and that is a critical figure, that he cuts into the anti-incumbency vote and therefore helps the DMK. That is one scenario. Suppose he goes further and gets a huge number. And he's very popular among young people. I was in Tamil Nadu and a couple of months ago, and I saw that amongst women. But if he gets that larger number, which is the tipping point, and can result in a hung assembly, and not then the likelihood of Anna DMK BJP group tying up with Vijay increases, in which case DMK is out of power. So the percentage of vote that TVK gets is the critical part of the Tamil Nadu story.
In fact, last time when I did a show with Yashwant Deshmukh, he said that TVK could end up being the Prashant Kishore of Tamil Nadu. So, though he's given him the benefit of plus minus. But do you see that happening? And Rasheed, did the Congress play it smart by not aligning with TVK and staying with DMK?
Yes, I think the Congress was very realistic, though there was a lot of pressure from the state unit of the party. Some of the very close friends or associates of Rahul Gandhi, they were openly betting against the DMK, but then Rahul Gandhi took a call and sided with DMK. But I think it's very simple. There are two things that we must remember about this election. See, Mr. Narendra Modi led BJP has won and conquered everything and anything and everything. There are just two. I mean, the Congress is, of course, as a knows, the kind of the electoral reversals it has suffered since 2014. But the two forts of the British Raj, they remained intact. That is Fort William in Bengal and Fort George, where the Tamil Nadu Assembly is, so to say, resides and lives. Now, these two citadels have remained unconquered. The BJP is making a lot of efforts. But I think this election, if we consider CPM as a regional party, is basically a test of regional parties. A regional party like Mamata, a regional party like DMK, the regional party like the left, which is it's only confined to Kerala now. If you look at the map of India, whether the BJP can demolish these three political forces, and if they do it, then they have it all over. All India. But I think there is a lot of resistance, as they keep saying, from Fort William and Fort George. This is something I think BJP is not trying too hard. That is where they are now trying to make the left win in Bengal. So sorry, left win in Kerala, so that they have a Congress story. Say that look, the Congress is totally useless. I think, Priya, speaking from experience of covering elections, etc., even there is an incumbent chief minister, either the chief minister sort of lives and survives or loses out badly. And the scope of a third party in a very kind of polarized and intense election, as it happens in Tamil Nadu, it's very little. So I agree with Yashwant Deshmukh. I don't give a lot of curiosity about TVK, but to get him to more than 20% of votes or seats, I have my own doubts. So I think it will be DMK that will come with a reduced margin, or if it happens like it becomes equal kind of thing, 38% kind of thing, then of course the other alliance, the ADMK, will make it. So that's the thing where the Congress has decided to play a lot more pragmatic, and they have gone so that there is no criticism. Otherwise, if we say this thing, Tisra Khana Mir Diwana, in the sense they would have been neither here nor there, and they would have drawn a lot of flack. At least with this kind of strategy, Rahul lives to fight another day.
Okay, that's interesting. In fact, again, I'm quoting Yashwant Deshmukh. I think I've done a lot of shows with him and his CVoter Tracker. There are only three states in India where Rahul Gandhi scores more than Narendra Modi. Rashid, you'll be interested to know is Tamil Nadu, Kerala, and Punjab. In fact, Punjab, Modi's ratings are the lowest, while Tamil Nadu is best and Kerala is in the middle in terms of the three states where Rahul scores higher. So that's an interesting factoid. But now at the state of West Bengal, Neerja, West Bengal, the number of people who rate Mamata Banerjee's performance as good is 38.8%, and the number of people who rate her as poor is 38.7%. Average is 17.6%. But if you actually ask them that, who do they see as the best chief minister, then Mamata Banerjee wins ahead. Her numbers are 40.4%. She's ahead. Suvendu Adhikari is 24.5%, and Abhishek Banerjee is 5.9%. So Mamata is the best choice of CM. The TMC vote is also 44%, which is more or less what is Mamata's vote. So Mamata is TMC. BJP is 40%, Congress is 5%, as left is 4%. So, we talked about Mamata, but the state of Congress is really, I don't think whether it's just a footnote now in West Bengal. Can Mamata hold her own? Or would you think that Amit Shah again? I don't see him hearing 200 part this time. He's not saying it this time round. So maybe they also realize that, Neerja.
Yeah, and it depends on whether the vote is for the chief minister or the vote is for the party.
Isn't it synonymous in Bengal?
No. I think in all the states, if you look at, it is synonymous in one way. But if you look at the surveys and feedback, people are making a distinction between the party and the chief minister. They are softer towards the chief minister and harder towards the party. So the anti-incumbency manifestation is, if you talk to them, they'll be very angry with the DMK, but not so angry with Stalin. So also Mamata. And if you note, the BJP is not criticizing Mamata by name so much now. They're hammering her policy, Mahajangal Raj, etc., etc. So I think the fact that Mamata enjoys a certain standing, and remember, this is going to be a mother of all battles for Mamata Banerjee. And the stakes are the highest for Mamata Banerjee in this election. The person who stands to gain the most and the person who stands to lose the most. If she wins Bengal again, she is going to try and be a national player. She'll move to the national seat. This is already, there was a buzz about this even at the outset of the elections, that she should be made the convener or given some kind of a leadership role of the India bloc. Now, India bloc, where it stands is another question, but certainly the opposition, whether there's an India bloc or there's a federal front of regional parties, but some kind of a collective. But she will certainly move to the national scene. And if the BJP is planning to use the women's card for the coming elections and pass the women's reservation bill in the special session of Parliament on 16th to 18th April, then if you have a Mamata Banerjee as the leader of the opposition bloc, a fighting woman, I don't know what the impact is going to be. I don't know whether she'll have traction. I don't even know whether a women's reservation bill will have resonance of that kind, because women have got used to getting money in hand. Does that appeal to them more, or is the promise of power? All these are question marks. But it will be an interesting role for Mamata Banerjee to play. If she loses Bengal, does she become another Mayawati? So I think it's a, as I say, Bengal is the most interesting, and the stakes for Mamata. If all regional parties, if they lose, then they tend to take a back seat. Of course, you can say this about the Congress also. If the Congress loses for the third time in Assam, and every state where it's lost for 3 times and more, it is virtually, been decimated, the Congress party. So from that point of view, also the stakes are high for the Congress in Assam. But West Bengal is I would say, the state being watched with greatest keenness and interest today, what the outcome will be on May 4.
Well said. In fact, Will, is this the opportunity for Mamata to right that historic blunder and put a prop up a prime ministerial face from West Bengal? Is the question, Rasheed, really? But first, she has to become chief minister again.
Yeah, so I think as Neerja was saying, it's a make or break kind of election for her. But there is one thing we must analyze about Mamata Banerjee. It's her own kind of hold over, so to say, the majority community vote. Look, broadly, there are three segments in Bengal that are there. There is, of course, the minority votes, which she enjoys a lot of confidence, 88%, 90%, maybe more. Then you have, sort of non-Bengali Hindus who are there, the people from UP, Bihar, etc. There are many of them, and there are some constituencies really matter, 40, 50 seats, I would say, where, these people play a very big role, like, and that is a very strong, this thing of support base of the BJP. BJP is counting a lot. Now it comes the Bengali Hindu vote, and that is where Mamata is been getting more than 50% of votes, and that is where I think Akhilesh Yadav, Tejasvi, the Congress, a lot of people have lot to learn, because if you get 50% or more majority community votes, then you can never lose an election, because there is minority cushion is already there, which will be there. So Mamata's arithmetic is fine. What does the BJP have? They have SIR. I'm seriously saying this as a journalist, political commentator. The BJP also has got, it's like a drawing room arithmetic they have done, constituency wise, and they think they have a chance, because a lot of people who are whatever terminology we use for those sort of dubious, doubtful voters, they will not be there, and therefore the BJP will have an edge. So this is the thing. It's a drawing room versus the public meetings kind of response we can see, and that is where I think Mamata's future hinges. Whether it will be the SIR that will make the BJP win, or it is that Mamata's command and her hold over the majority community in Bengal.
Well, very interesting. In fact, thank you so much. Lots of critical analysis with anecdotes and perspective over here as we wait for these very crucial state elections. I'm sure we'll meet again before the results. But for now, thank you both for this conversation.
Thank you.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.